Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Dune Awakening content. Today folks, we're going to talk about confirmation that I got from the Community Manager Iggy on their official Discord when I asked the question, what's going to be the focus of the upcoming developer live streams? So if that sounds interesting, then stay tuned, and if you like this content, please consider subscribing and liking it, and don't forget to ring that bell so that you don't miss any of my Dune Awakening content coming up. I really appreciate it, and it helps me out greatly. Thank you so much. So we're talking about Arrakis, the desert planet, a world of survival, power, and mystery. In the upcoming developer live streams for Dune Awakening, let's dive into the heart of this unforgiving planet. Let's unveil the systems that will shape your journey. So let's start with the confirmation from Iggy on the official Discord that I got when I asked that question. Iggy is the community manager, so what he says is pretty much gold, so we can take it at that. I asked the question, hey guys, what's coming up in the developer live streams that are coming up in the future? And he responded, right now I'm planning for combat and building, so I don't know exactly what the deep desert stream may have other than desert. And deep at it, sand too. This guy's actually pretty funny. His responses are pretty good. He did go on a little bit more in the conversation, talking about that each one of these were going to be separate, one on combat, one on building, and one on the deep desert. He did say that they were going to be individual live streams and that he was planning the content for each one right now. So with that response, we know what the content of the three are going to be, and I think that he said that that is the order they're going to come in. We don't really know the frequency that they're going to hit us, but it has to be pretty fast, honestly, because at the making of this video, we only have roughly a month before early access opens to the world of Arrakis on May the 15th for those that have pre-ordered and have the ability to have 5-day head start. So as the discussion on the Discord went on, there were also hints by Iggy of a fourth one. But it isn't set in stone yet, and he said the topic hasn't been told to us, and it's kind of up in the air. And honestly, I think that the reason why it's up in the air is because we only have a month left. They already have those three planned, so the frequency for which they're going to have to bring them to us is going to have to be pretty quick. I mean, honestly, we're going to have to get one like every week, week and a half if we can get three in and possibly a fourth before we have release. If we're going to get a fourth one, then we're going to have at least one a week. So that's a pretty fast frequency, right? So the first one, let's discuss that one first. We know the date for this one, and we know that it's going to be on the combat system because that has been announced over and over. It's coming on the 15th of this month, and at the time of making this video, that is only 3 days away. So I'm super excited for that. Honestly, I cannot wait. I've got an alarm set and I'm ready to go. As soon as they drop that, I'm going to absorb every second of it because I'm in love with this game. Survival on Arrakis isn't just about braving the elements, though. It's about mastering combat. And that's what this developer deep dive is hopefully going to be talking about. From the swift strikes of a sword master to the tactical prowess of a trooper, each combat style offers unique abilities and strategy. The developers have said that they have designed a dynamic combat system that integrates melee, ranged, and vehicular combat. Players can choose their mentor during character creation, which influences their starting abilities and their combat style. So at the beginning of the game, you choose a mentor and you start with those abilities. But one of the cool things about this game, and this is one of my top 3 things that I love about this game's design more than anything else, and that's the freedom that you have in the skill system and how it allows you to shape your characters to your needs at the moment. That is so tasty. It's such a breath of fresh air from the rigid class selection choices we have had in other games. When you start the game, you choose a mentor, but then you're able to explore and go find other mentors, which through the process of questing for them and doing things that they ask you to do, they will give you the reward of unlocking other skill paths for you to then add to your arsenal so that you can change your play style on the fly based on whatever you need at the moment. So that right there, the open-ended skill system, is just something that ties into combat that I am most excited for. I really like that because when I play a game, I want to play the way I want to play. So give me freedom to be able to do those kind of things that I love, and I'm hooked. I'm all in. I'm a rabid member of your game environment at that point, and you give me that kind of freedom. So moving on, the next one that he said that was coming is going to be focused on the building system and crafting your legacy. We don't know the date that this one's coming, but he did say it was next in the order. He said the order was going to be combat, the building system, and the deep desert. So we know that on Arrakis, your shelter is your sanctuary. I mean, the desert is unforgiving. It's a hardcore survival environment. And one of the few times that you're actually going to be able to be at peace with your environment is when you're inside your building, basically, because that's your shield from the elements. The advanced building system allows players to design and construct bases using a blueprint style system, which enables collaborative efforts to create formidable strongholds. And that is something that I really personally love about the design of the building system. We know that players can create holographic blueprints of buildings, which their guildmates and possibly their friends can help them construct. We know that you can build multiple bases per person. I'm not really 100% sure on this, but I think the limit is 2 per person per account. And they use something called a fief and a sub-fief, which are basically land claim mechanics that give you ownership of a piece of territory to build on. So if you've ever played in other games where you could claim a spot of the ground, you basically plant your flag and say, this is mine. It does seem like that building radius that you claim can be expanded in the future by some sort of mechanic. I don't know if it's through you leveling up a skill or if you pay a certain cost to increase your building range. I'm not really sure that that's kind of been, exposed yet, but we do know that you can build multiple houses. They're not instanced. They are in the open world on your server, and we've been told that you can build in the PvP area, which is the deep desert, and you can also build in the PvE area, which is like the Haga Basin map. So you have freedom of being able to build pretty much wherever you want, except for you wouldn't be smart to build on the sand, obviously, because the biggest threat in the game, the worm, can come along and just eat your house. So you wouldn't want to do that. So you want to look for solid rocky structure to construct your building on so that it will be as safe as it can be. If you decide to build in the PvP areas, that has risks, and it can be wiped once every week. It will be wiped once every week, they have said. So if the rewards justify that risk, then you can do it. But strategic placement is key. Bases are equipped with shields that protect them from threats, but during specific large sandstorms in the deep desert, these shields can be temporarily disabled, which will open the door for potential raids. So that's interesting. That adds a little flavor, a little drama to it. Can your guild go raid your enemies? Fob, can you, type of thing. That's going to be interesting. And I think even in the PvE area, you're still going to have to kind of keep up with your building as far as power generation and shield mechanics, because just like most other survival games of this type that have an overland building system, there's always some sort of decay on your structures, and that just keeps the game fresh. What that does is that allows players that no longer play the game, their structures to decay and be removed from the world, so that players that are actively playing can then claim those sweet build spots that somebody may have tied up with their building, and now they're not playing. So why would you want that to continue on in the game when an active player could actually own that land? So if you've ever played a game like Ark, Survival Ascended, or Survival Evolved, you get that, because honestly, that was one of the funnest things to do in that game, was to find building structures that were about to completely decay, and then you set a timer and you be there when that timer runs out, and you could collect all that loot and stuff and just have a yard sale with everything that you got. And it was really one of the funnest things to do. One of the things about this system, though, that I am most excited for is the fact that these blueprints for your builds can be created and traded and sold on the Chome exchange, fostering a dynamic market for base designs, which is so cool. This is one of the things that I've never had the ability to do in any other game, to where because I am a builder at heart, and I build some really crazy, wild structures, and I feel like I'm pretty, creative with the things that I do, so I think I'm going to have a lot of fun actually creating blueprints and trying to sell them on the market. Because there's a lot of people that are focused on PvP, and they don't really have the time to really get into the building system, so why wouldn't they want to go to the market and find something truly unique, and then just plop it down on the ground and put the resources into it, and boom, now they have a base that they can be proud of, something that has some flair and some style and some utility. So that's going to be something that is so much fun, and as a PvE focused type player, I think that's going to give people an outlet to show their creativity and actually make some coin, hopefully. Hope that the return on investment for those blueprints on the market is something that causes people to want to do it so that they can earn income. I think that's super cool, and that creates a niche in these kind of games. That is something that is not to be underestimated, because when you give players the ability to have something that they love to do and can be profitable at it, boom, you've just made a pile of gold right there. So that's really amazing, and that's something I love and I'm looking forward to. The last one that he mentioned, and we know is planned, coming to us, the third installment of the developer diary, is one to do with the deep desert. We don't know the date on this one either, but we do know that the deep desert is the most perilous region on Arrakis. Here's where the Coriolis storms sweep in weekly, completely altering the landscape, burying old locations, and unearthing new points of interest, keeping everything fresh and new. This is the region where PvP happens. This is the place where the most precious resources and gear and schematics can be attained and fought over. This is where you get the spice. And don't be fooled, control of spice is critical. In the deep desert, players vie for dominance over spice fields, leading to those dynamic PvP encounters that can shift the balance of power and create memories that last a lifetime. This is going to be where some of the most heart-pounding action is. Whether you plan to go full-on PvP or just be that person that sneaks into that zone to grab some precious spice and then try to get out alive, it will be an exciting place that will always feel fresh and new, thanks to that innovative reset mechanic that they have planned. That is something that I think is so innovative about the design of this game. The fact that that area will reset once a week, making things fresh and new. It's a huge area, so the possibility to sneak around without being seen is there, but the factor that it's going to be fresh and new every week is just something that's just truly innovative, I think, in its design. If you think back to other MMO-style games, after a game is released for a while, players, they can churn through content quick. I mean, you'd be surprised how fast players can get to endgame when they have a mindset to do so. And one of the most active times in an MMO is when new content is released and everything is fresh and new. That usually only happens for most games on the release of a DLC or a new expansion or something like that. And that's when everybody jumps back into the game and is so excited to play, and everything's hyperactive and everything's going on and the market's just bustling. And then a month into that, it dies down again. And then you only have your diehards that are there, your lifers that keep the game alive. But with this mechanic of resetting the deep desert, that's going to cause that effect every week. And I think that is really a super cool mechanic. I did actually see a developer blog that they posted where they talked about thinking about doing it on a Tuesday because they could see the cycles of activity in their testing phase. And this will probably change on release, I'm sure, because there's going to be so many more people in the game. But right now their thinking is that they're going to reset the deep desert on a Tuesday, which will allow people on a Wednesday and a Thursday to start getting in there and exploring so that they're ready for all the major action that happens on the weekend. And then the build down after that leads up to the next wipe, and then it all starts over again. So that's one of the mechanics that I think was really innovative in design, and I cannot wait to see that live stream on the Deep Desert, because that's going to be truly interesting to see them talk about that. So, with all that said, that's the lowdown on the next 3 developer live streams that have been announced and have been planned. We do not know the dates on the other 2. We do know that one is coming in a couple of days on the 15th on the combat system for sure. The other 2, we'll have to wait and see what the dates are on them. So I appreciate you watching this content. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you will interact with me in the comments. Let me know what you think about those developer live streams. What are you excited for? Which one is going to be your favorite, you think, that aligns with the playstyle that you love the most? And if you remember, we talked about a mysterious possible 4th one that he said might be coming but didn't really reveal what the subject matter was. What do you think that's going to be? Let's get our guesses in the comments so that we can talk about it and see who nails it. If it actually happens, then we'll go back and we'll say, whoop, this guy nailed it right here. I'd be interested to hear your comments and talk to you about it. So I appreciate you watching my content. It's the weekend. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a lot of fun in game. And I'll be seeing you in another video about Dune Awakening coming soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.